Welcome back to the Rangeless Travel Podcast. We're your favorite adventure travel hosts. I'm Britt, and this is Ryan. Together, we travel the world by plane, train, and 89 Ford Sportsmobile. Currently, we're traveling the U.S. in an old van with our two dogs, Layla and Cedar. Every Tuesday, we share stories and tips to inspire you to book that next trip. So go ahead and don't be shy. Follow along with us at Rangeless_ on Spotify, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. Let's dive in. This week, it's just me and Ryan, no special guests, but we're in a pretty special location where we're going to be spending the next maybe 6 months. We're in Baja, Mexico. We drove our van from California to Mexicali and crossed over the border. Is it considered the Mexicali border?
It's Mexicali, Calexico border, yeah.
Yeah, so. The Mexicali, Calexico border. We crossed over, and van life is such a huge thing, especially in the winter down here in Baja. Mm-hmm. So if you're thinking about doing it, if you're van curious, or you're getting ready to join us down here in Baja, we're going over all of the ins and outs of what you need to prepare, what to expect, and a little bit about what to do after you've crossed the border. All right, let's start with before. So there is some preparations, if you will, that you definitely need to do before you even cross the border.
Yes, and probably number one on that is insurance.
I was going to say passports, but yeah, insurance.
But yeah, because we're van lifing, we're driving, so insurance is number one there because most U.S. insurers do not cover you for Mexico, or even if they say they do, it's not actually valid in Mexico. For insurance to be valid in Mexico, it has to be from a Mexican insurance company. Yeah. So we used Baja Bound.
Everyone uses Baja Bound, I feel like.
We've seen it all over the internet. It's really easy to do it. I had it done in about 15 minutes for both the van and the bike. It cost us about $300 for each one for 6 months. So
we spent like $600 for insurance for our van itself, which the newer the van and the more expensive your van, the more expensive that's going to be. Just like any insurance we have, if you're new here, hi. But we have a 1989 Ford Sportsmobile with a pop top, so it is a little bit of an older van. So our insurance was a little bit lower. I was going to say, so our insurance is younger, but no, it's not. No, it's lower in price. And as far as our bike goes, we have a 2022 Honda Trail. Yeah, so that we have on a hitch in the back. So we paid about $600 for 6 months for both.
Mm-hmm. After that, you said passports. Mm-hmm.
Oh, also, just the Baja Bound thing. Hopefully we don't have to use it. Knocking on wood, but we on the internet, TikTok and blogs, specifically TikTok. Please don't ban it. We'll go to Red Note. We'll go wherever you want, but I digress. I'm already on Red Note, so we're on Red Note, just so you know. If you guys are on Red Note and you're like, oh no, TikTok's getting banned, we're on Red Note at Rangeless, same handle everywhere. This is not about going to Red Note. What was I talking about? Oh, Baja Bound insurance, having to actually use the insurance. We plan on not having to use the insurance. No Baja high fives over here. Knock on wood again. But we have heard of some people having to use the insurance. Quite a lot of people actually having to use the insurance. And literally everyone that I've seen has been like, oh no, they were actually like the most enjoyable insurance company that we've had to submit a claim with, right? Like they were prompt, they talked back to us, like they were just trying to like get out of helping us. Like they did all the things that insurance companies are supposed to do, which sounds incredible.
Wow.
I hope I don't have to learn firsthand, but we've heard really good things. They do all the things insurance claims that they're supposed to. That hurts in my soul.
Yeah, so Baja Bound, we can't personally testify to it, but as far as we've heard and from our research, they're very good to work with.
Yeah, so we hope we don't have to figure it out ourselves, but we're going to trust others and just say thumbs up. Mm-hmm. Passports. You have to renew your passport. Like usually most countries is like it has to be valid for like up to 6 months
after you leave. So
like if it's coming up on, it's going to expire within a year, you just need to go ahead and renew it. Mm-hmm. It's not that hard. You can do it at the post office. And yeah, the scariest part of it is when you renew your passport, you Ryan doesn't have a U.S. passport, so he doesn't know yet. But you have to full on mail in your old passport.
Really?
Yeah, it's really a scary thing.
Oh,
Yeah, they mail it back.
renewing your Irish passport is actually really easy now.
I know, I went with
after,
you.
After COVID, what do you mean went with me? I did it in the mail.
Oh, then where did you do? Oh, you must have got a new driver's license or something.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Ireland, since COVID, they've been like on their game with the passports, and 10 days turnaround, I got it back to New York.
Oh, that's actually...
I didn't even have to go to the embassy or anything. I just did it online and it was there.
Yeah, so for my U.S. listeners, that's not for you.
No.
That's not for you.
No, sorry.
It can take, like, I've gotten mine back because I've renewed my passport, I think, like 3 times in my life now. And the one time it took like 10 days. The other time, I think it took like 14 weeks. So there's no telling how long it's going to do. So just like as soon as it starts coming up on a year, just go ahead and renew the passport. Yeah. And you can get more pages or less pages, and it's the same price. I always get more pages. Always get more pages. Just go and do it. But yeah, just make sure your passport's in date up to 6 months after you plan on leaving. So.
Yeah, and actually, speaking of insurance, and one thing that we didn't do but we plan on doing is getting medical insurance for while we're down here.
Yeah.
And we have had Safety Wing before, and we've used it all over Southeast Asia, and I plan on doing it again while we're here. I just didn't get around to doing it yet. I'll probably do it today. But Safety Wing, really easy and simple. Set it up in 10 minutes, and yeah.
We like Safety Wing. And again, we're going to link everything we can link in our description. And I think we do have an affiliate link, which means if you end up getting Safety Wing through our link, it doesn't cost you any extra, but we get like a little bit of something. We haven't ever had anyone buy anything on an affiliate link before, but I've heard that that you get a little something. So I don't know. Maybe you want to be the first person to buy something off an Rangeless affiliate link. Now, I'd also say before you go, there's definitely some things you're going to want to order, because there's places to get things delivered from the States into Mexico, but I heard that it is a nightmare and a half to do. There's a lot of scams behind it. It's just like, if you don't want to have to do it unless you absolutely dire have to do that. So before you go, make sure that all of your cards are also in date in case you need to use your credit cards, your debit cards, whatever it is. You want to make sure they're all in date. So just do a quick look in your wallet and just make sure that they're not going to expire while you're in Mexico. And then you're like, oh no, I have no debit card and I can't take money out of the ATM.
Right, yeah. Especially because, like, it can happen anywhere, but especially when you're in a country that you're not, like, from. If you get your card skimmed, it's a pain in the ass.
Oh, I wasn't even talking about skimmed. I was just talking about...
Yeah, but, like, having backup cards, having extra cards is important, because if you're at home, it's no big deal. You just call your bank and then they send you a new one. But, like, when you're abroad, it's a lot more of a pain.
Yeah, so just make sure everything's in date and you have everything and you're good to go. And you're also, because you're not going to want to get things mailed to Mexico, you want to make sure that if there's anything that you do, like, need to order and get mailed, you do that before you go out there. Like traction pads and recovery gear, because it's a lot of beaches.
It's a lot of beaches, a lot of sand, a lot of people getting stuck all the time. So yeah, you want to be able to at least try to get out, and if you can't, then you're gonna need a buddy with a winch or something, or a tow rope.
Yeah, so
whatever. But like,
get
the stuff. It's like stuff that you just can't go and pick up.
Yeah.
Like, but plan for everything that you're gonna get. Like, any equipment is gonna be bought in America before you go down, because in the U.S. before you go down, because it's just not easy to come by here. You know? I
just wouldn't know where to find it.
Exactly.
But maybe if you, like, my Spanish, I did a test online. The internet told me I read at an A2 level.
What does that mean?
I read like a small child. But I did not know what the word signature was in Spanish. So I tried to pay for a card and I was like, I don't know, it's not working. Like, I don't know what I need to do, because I didn't know the word signature. So, like, maybe if you speak very fluent Spanish, you can ask where to get traction stuff, because I'm sure they sell it down here.
Yeah.
It's just taking the thing off your plate that, like, oh, it's just another thing I have to look for once I cross the border, because we didn't even get there yet. So just order some traction stuff on wherever, go to car store wherever. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just get some stuff to get you unstuck. What else do you need to do? Oh, you can't cross the border with food, like fresh food and stuff like that. So like, I don't like all the specifications. You can find them on their website. They're there. They say everything you can bring, everything you can't bring.
Yeah.
But off the top of my head, and pretty standard among most land border crossings and border crossings in general, meat, dairy, animal products in general, fruits, produce, anything like that is a no-go. So eat all your food before you go over if you're driving over, and canned stuff is usually fine. I'm pretty sure like teas and herbs and spices, they said on their website that was fine.
Yeah.
Just don't bring fresh stuff over. You
Just
have to
don't
stock
plan
up.
on bringing a lot of food. Just eat down as much as you can before you cross. The less you have.
Do a pantry. What is it? A pantry. They do. I watch these videos. A pantry challenge where you have to like eat out of your pantry for like 1 month and not allowed to go to the grocery store. You have to do a pantry challenge.
That's where you get real creative. And
we've had done some creative and some sad things.
Some very sad things.
Like, it ends up being, rice is one thing though. You're not allowed to bring rice over the border. We're big rice eaters in here, and after living in Asia for multiple years, I'm very particular with my rice. So like, I like to know I have the rice that I like. Before.
But it's Mexico. They sell rice here.
Yeah, but they don't. I haven't found the rice that I like, but that's fine. We got other rice. It's fine. But we had to eat down like all my good like H Mart rice before we came over the border, and like sometimes it's like getting sad. Like it's just like rice and soy sauce, and that's it. Speaking of Asia, that was a okay, whatever. But speaking of Asia, there's not. Well, in Mexicali, there's actually like a big Chinatown, but like as a general statement, they don't like Asian food isn't abundant. So if you do like Asian cuisine or like Indian cuisine or some very like different kinds of cuisines, I would recommend getting, because like oils, vinegars, like sauces, they're fine. So I would recommend picking up some of the sauces that you need to make some of the dishes that you enjoy frequently. So like I made sure to get like rice vinegar, sesame oil, soy sauce, and I kept and oyster sauce, and I kept it all sealed so it's not open. I just got new bottles of all of it, and I used all the other ones down, and now I can make like pretty much anything I want from those sauces.
Yeah.
So if you like different cuisines, just like bring the sauces down, because I went to the grocery store yesterday, and I went to Cali Max, which is a bigger supermarket, and they had some of them, but they were a tiny bit more expensive, but there was like no variety. Like I'm talking, there was one soy sauce on the shelf, no oyster sauce, one sweet Thai chili, and I was just like, thank goodness. Thank goodness I brought a plethora of sauces with me.
But there is a Chinatown in Mexicali. In Mexicali, yeah.
In Mexicali,
La Chinesia?
No, that's not it. La Cine. Nope. We'll get there. I've done this now multiple times. La Chinese. Nope. That wasn't it either.
La Chinesca?
La Chinesca. La Chinesca. There is a Chinatown, and it is called La Chinesca. In Mexicali, we didn't go to it. It's like right on the other side of the border, so we did not plan well.
And also, it's really hard to get parking around that area because it's very congested. And we have a long
But I wanted to go.
Yeah.
Maybe on the way back. I heard the Chinese food is like actually incredible there. And everything's like Chinese Mexican fusion, which sounds freaking amazing.
Yeah.
And do you want to know the history of it real quick? Should we go?
Segue real quick.
Okay, this is going to be real fast, I promise. Okay, so after the railroad was built in the U.S., was like, thanks for building our railroad. Now Chinese immigrants, get the fuck out. And that's super rude, by the way. And so they were like, oh no, where are we going to go? I guess we're just going to go south. So the U.S. like pushed all the Chinese immigrants, and not all of them, but a lot of them, pushed them south. They go into Mexico, and these people kind of spread throughout Mexico. They're like, yes, we're in Mexico now, bitches. And then they were like, oh no, we don't want you either, which is so rude. So they started pushing them back up. There's this little corner, which is now Mexicali, right on the border of the U.S., is kind of where a lot of people settled because at the time it was just a desert. There was nothing there. No one wanted to live there. And in the summer, it got hot. So you had all these Chinese immigrants who are not used to this like serious desert heat, living in the desert in what is now Mexicali. And they're like, oh no, how are we going to survive? So they started building tunnels. They had homes, communities, casinos, bars, all kinds of fun stuff, all underground. And you can still go into the area, and they'll take you on tours down into the underground. And during the 1920s, during the U.S. Prohibition, they used to sneak in booze. So I'm just saying, I wanted to go in those tunnels. You're welcome. Okay. All right, now back to our previously scheduled entertainment. Make copies of all of your documents. Now, when you're driving on the street, sometimes you might get pulled over or something. We're going to knock on wood that none of this happens, but you want copies of your passport, copies of your driver's license,
registration, insurance,
everything.
Everything.
So that you can hand a cop, not a border agent, not a military personnel, just a neighborhood policeman. You can hand him over your copies and not your originals, because if you hand over your passport to this man and then he says you don't get it back until you pay me, you have to pay him because you need your passport back. Yeah. So make copies, hand the copies, use that. That's good. Also, I always travel with copies, so just have them. They're good to have, because if something were to happen to your passport, at least you have a copy. At least you have a copy. It's going to be a lot easier to go to somewhere and be like, I have a copy, but you got damaged, stolen, whatever. Mm-hmm. Download Google Maps and download
Google Translate. Download the Spanish onto it if you don't speak Spanish.
Because even if you have Mexican covered phone service, which we do, you're not going to have phone service because there's just no service to have. So you're not going to be able to get it. Same token, thinking about Starlink? Now's a good time.
Now's a good time.
Do we support the Starlink person?
No.
King, if you will, the Starlink king.
I'm calling him a king.
Yeah, but he thinks so in his own mind. He thinks so in his own mind.
We don't support him.
We don't like.
No.
We don't like.
But there's no alternative out there.
If you have one, let us know. If we want to all get together and start one, I'm probably like a 4 out of 10 in smartness, but like I could be a great personality hire. I couldn't even say that.
Anyway, even if you have phone service that works in Mexico, that doesn't work outside of major towns and cities. So where we are right now, there's no phone service.
Yeah, so you're getting this because of, the link. But here we are, so whatever. Help.
Another thing to think about getting before you come down is everyone that comes to Baja says they wish, if they didn't have it already, they wish they had a way to get out on the water.
Yeah.
So if you're thinking of getting a surfboard, if you're thinking of getting a paddleboard or a kayak or something like that.
Oh, one of those cool folding kayaks?
Yeah.
Do it.
Do it.
There's wildlife out there like dolphins.
And if you're full-time van lifing, you're thinking of doing this, inflatable paddleboards and surfboards and things like, not surfboards, but paddleboards and folding kayaks and inflatable kayaks. You can actually, I know they won't fit in an Amazon locker, but you can get your Amazon delivery sent to a UPS store, pay them $10, and they will hold it for you for a day, and you can pick it up. And so for an extra $10, you can get it delivered there. Yeah. And it's much cheaper than going to like a big retailer on the high street that's like crazy money, like looking for $700 for a paddleboard.
Yeah. Now, I think the last thing I'd say before going is making sure you have a way to fill your water tank if you're in like an RV or something, because from what we heard is a lot of the water stations, you have to like dump the water in. It doesn't necessarily have that like hose attachment. We do not have that. But we filled up our water before we went, so we're just going to cross our fingers and milk it for as long as we can, and we'll update you later. So follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Lemonade, YouTube, obviously.
Red Note.
You will let you know when we have water issues, but follow us at Rangeless _ on every account.
Another thing we did was we got new tires on the van because ours were getting a little long in the tooth and a bit worn down. It's easier just to get it done up there because, you don't have to deal with the language barrier.
And it's one less thing.
There's one less thing. They might not have the size you're looking for. They might not, like...
It's just one less thing.
Just get like some hard-wearing all-terrain tires. Easy done.
All right. That's everything we think you need before. Oh, if you travel with dogs, get all their vaccinations. Everyone I talk to is like, they've never asked. They didn't ask us, but you don't want to be asked.
You don't want to be asked. You want to make sure you have everything.
They'll probably ask on the way back to the U.S., so get it done.
They definitely will.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Get it done.
And one more thing that you should not bring, especially for the Americans out there, no weapons. No bear spray, no mace, no big
Pew
knives,
pews.
no pew-pews.
Nothing.
None of that.
Nothing.
Yeah, you can't bring that across the border.
Camping stuff, though.
Camping stuff is okay. So if it's for camping, that's fine.
Yeah. All right, that's everything before.
And one last thing.
Oh,
and
never mind.
You could do this either.
This is like my third time being like, that's it. No.
Either side of the border. They say it's Brawley, but it's not Brawley. It's Calexico. Change your money. There's a lot of money exchange places that charge nothing as far as we could see. It was like the exchange rate is what we got.
Yeah.
On either side of the border, you could do it on either side, no big deal.
Yeah.
Dollars to pesos, no problem.
I recommend when you go to change money over, if you're doing cash, just do a quick Google search. It's going to tell you what the daily exchange rate is, so you can go on and do it. If you decide to do it with a card, try to go to the banks. Go into a bank and get it done. And tip, don't do like the exchange in the ATM. Do it like, don't change it. Don't change it, because you'll always get a better rate if it's just like done normally and you don't do the exchange. That may have not made sense, but if you've used the ATMs in other countries, it will. So it will click. It will make sense later.
It will ask you if you want the transaction to be processed in USD or in the local currency.
Do it in the local currency.
Yes.
Always local currency. You'll get a better exchange rate. It will like save you money.
Yes.
All right. While crossing.
Okay, this is specific to Mexicali border crossing, because there's other ones, but we only know about Mexicali.
Because that's the one we did.
Yeah, that's the closest one to us. It was the easiest one that we heard, and yeah.
Your FMM.
Your FMM
This is
the
very
most crucial document that you need. When you drive
your whole life.
When you drive into the Mexicali border crossing, you drive through the gates. You stay on the left side. There's a gate that's like just an open gate with green lights, and you drive through that first one. That's the American one. There's no one really there. Drive through, stay to the left side. As you drive along, there's going to be a little pull-in area with parking spots on the left before you go through the border. Do not go through the border crossing and pull in on...
Till you get your FMM.
Pull in on the left. There's an office right next to it. You go in there. There's a sign in there that says FMM Immigration. You go back down around there, and that's where you fill out the form and you pay to get your FMM. You can do this online prior. We wouldn't recommend it because it can cause a lot of confusion when you go there, because if you print it out online, you still have to get it stamped, so you still have to go into this office. You cannot just drive through because you got your FMN online. When you're there, there's two options to pay. You can pay in pesos, you can pay in dollars, or you can pay by card. The rate they give us, we were kind of flustered. We were just trying to get the things done, so we decided to pay in dollars because that's what I had in my wallet at the time. It was worse rate. It was $50 US.
Yep.
I think it was 861 pesos if I paid in pesos, which would have saved us $7 a piece. So we wasted $14 there. Don't be like us. Use the pesos.
Yeah, don't do what we did. Do not miss it. You just stay.
It's the only thing that's the most crucial thing. Do not go through without the FMM.
Now the parking lot itself was pretty tight. So if you are a bigger rig, go at an off time. Though we went on, and I'm pretty sure they're open 24/7. Like even that little offices, I looked it up online. It said 24/7. Double check me, please. Like don't take me at my word for this. Like double check it. But that's what quick Google search is what it said. We went at like 9:30 a.m. on a Sunday, and there was nobody there. There was one other car in the lot when we pulled up, and there was no other cars in the lot when we pulled out. So Mexicali is a good one because it tends to be a little bit less congested of a border crossing as far as U.S. Mexican land crossing goes. I think that's it for while you're crossing. It was easy. Don't worry about it. Relax. Just give them their passport. Have everything ready. Just be ready. Look presentable. Don't show up. There is a Planet Fitness in Calexico.
There is a Planet Fitness
in
Calexico.
So shower before you,
And if you carry, what we do, we carry extra jerry cans with fuel. They are not allowed to be full when you cross the border. You have to empty them, so pour them into your tank. Your tank is allowed to be full, so drive through with empty jerry cans. You can fill them up in Mexico.
Yep. All right, now we crossed. We're in Mexico, baby. There's Costco, a Sam's Club, a Walmart, all the things.
Yeah, Mexicali is actually more built up than Calexico. It's a bigger town. There's more stuff
It's a full
there.
city.
Yeah.
It's a full city. So that means all the good and the bad things that come with it being a full city. So you can resupply because you just did a pantry clean out for a while. I'm proud of you. You've been eating some hard meals. We went to Costco. Also, if you forgot to go to the ATM and you now need to, or you need to exchange money, there's money exchanges places. You need to go to the ATM. I would imagine the ATM in Costco is pretty a safe one to use.
Yeah,
So,
it's right by the door, right by those people that are watching. People
yeah,
going scanning.
I would imagine that would be A-okay to use. There's also a Sam's Club if you prefer Sam's Club over Costco, to each their own. There's a Walmart. There's everything. So do your resupply, because as you go more south, there's going to be other places to resupply. Don't worry, but the prices in a lot of the small towns are higher than the prices in the big cities as far as getting groceries and stuff. So just do a little resupply, do a little stock up, fill up your gas tanks.
Yes. Make sure you fill up before you leave Mexicali. We almost made that mistake.
Yeah.
It is 200 kilometers to the next gas station once you leave Mexicali, and
Which is in San Felipe.
Which is in San Felipe.
Or at least near San Felipe.
Yeah. Yeah, make sure you fill up.
So fill up. If you have your jerry cans, fill those up. Just like be ready to go. And get out. Because from what we've heard and what's been expressed to us is if you're going to get pulled over, it's going to probably be
in Mexicali.
Because it's a big city. So all the good and bad that come with cities is there.
And there's a lot of American cars that cross the border for like this and that all the time. So there's the incentive there to let quick find money for traffic infractions or whatever. So they're just leave. Just get what you need to.
Unless you want to go to Chinatown.
Unless you want to go to Chinatown.
Like I did. But instead we just went to Costco.
Now, yeah, if you get pulled over there, that's where by the cops, that's where you use your copies of all your documents and things like that. And if they're insisting on a fine, then you can insist that you go to the station to pay the fine, so it's not
just on the street.
Yeah. The other thing is, though, don't go burying your passport and your FMM now that you've just come through the border, and your green card in my case too. Don't go burying them somewhere safe, super safe, that you can't get to them, because on your way to San Felipe, there is military checkpoint. There is one military checkpoint about 50 kilometers outside of San Felipe on the north side, and they are going to ask you for your identification, and they need the legit.
They need the legit. That is the military. We pulled up. Our Spanish, like I said, I took a test online. I read like a small child. I speak like I just learned my first words 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I'm trying. But they waved someone over that spoke English. He was super nice. He was like, go get a margarita, go get 2 margaritas, have so much fun. Like, they were fine. They were really nice. And again, we're not moving anything. We're not allowed to be moving. We're not doing anything.
No, we got nothing to hide.
We're just living our lives. We got all our things ready. And now you're going to have all your things ready because you listen to this podcast. If you haven't already, subscribe, like, comment, hit notification buttons. Do all of the things, please. Please. If you want more from us, you can find us at Rangeless_ on TikTok, Instagram, Red Note, Lemonade, YouTube, Spotify, anywhere else you get your podcasts, and all of the things. Until next week, bye.